Hey guys, so I went and saw 65 last night, and look, I'm honestly trying my best here not to compare it to Jurassic Park. I went into the movie looking at it through a mindset of this is its own thing, do not compare these movies, but yeah, I failed. I compared. Look, it's really hard not to because this movie copies Jurassic Park so much. We'll get into that a little bit later. But look, I feel like I'm going to be more harsh than this movie deserves. I do realise that. But I can't really help it. I just feel like they so blatantly ripped off so much of Jurassic Park that it frustrated me. But honestly, look, if you want a movie just to waste some time, it's a Friday night, you want to go see something, if you go see this, you're not going to have a bad time. It's an enjoyable movie in the fact that I was never bored. It only went for an hour and a half. So look, yeah, this isn't a horrible movie. I just feel like I'm sort of, I've got my mindset against it a bit more than I should. Okay, so this stars Adam Driver. And Adam Driver is an amazing actor. If any of you have seen Marriage Story, which is a rom-com on Netflix, so it's like a drama, not a rom-com, I highly recommend it. Adam Driver just did such a phenomenal job with his acting in that movie, so I know this man can definitely act. So he stars in the movie playing this spaceman, space guy from a space planet, I don't know. And they had like Star Wars sort of technology, so it definitely felt like it had those Star Wars vibes, and I just kept seeing Kylo Ren. But unlike Kylo Ren, who wanted his family dead, the character that Adam Driver is playing in this movie is trying very hard to save his family. So he has a daughter who is very sick, and we find out that she ends up dying in this movie. And the whole point of him going on this space exploration mission was to save enough money to be able to treat his daughter's sickness, whatever it was. It was never really explained. Anyway, so he goes on this mission. An asteroid hits an asteroid belt. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with space terminology. It hits him. He gets caught in the debris and he crashes on this prehistoric planet filled with dinosaurs, and there's only one other survivor in the plane crash, who is this little girl whose parents had died. So obviously it shows she's trying to fill that daughter sort of role in his life, and he's filling the father role in her life, so that's pretty obvious. And it could have been really charming, but honestly, I just felt like they didn't really have any chemistry, and the little girl did a good job, don't get me wrong, she did a good job acting, but her and Driver together just didn't have any chemistry. And I feel like when your movie, 99% of the movie is just these two actors, they need to have chemistry. They didn't play off each other well. It felt awkward, their scenes together, and I get it, first it's meant to be awkward as they're getting to know each other, but when the third act came, it felt like they were trying to force, okay, now they're this close family unit a little too much. Honestly, I was excited to see a movie that was showing dinosaurs in a serious light, because we haven't really had a serious sort of dinosaur movie that really impressed me since the Jurassic Park franchise. I was really excited when I first saw that they were making this movie, but unfortunately, look, one problem with it was that it was too serious, and in a way it was good because they showed the brutality of the prehistoric world in a way that the Jurassic Park movies couldn't really do, because obviously that franchise was heavily aimed at children. But this movie, like, we see the little girl trying to save a dinosaur who's stuck in this tar, and then the dinosaur ends up getting killed by other dinosaurs, and it just shows that brutality in a way I did enjoy, but at the same time, the movie, the tone itself just felt a little too serious. And look, I'm not saying that it needs to be this cheesy popcorn movie, but this movie did feel like it would have benefited from leaning a little more into that, reminiscent of like 90s creature features, and I love those types of movies. I'm so excited for the Meg 2 to come out this year. But yeah, leaning a bit more into that sort of genre of being still serious, still an action movie, but, a bit more campy, a little bit more lighthearted. So, to be honest, I just felt like they should have cut the storyline with Adam Driver's character's kid. That was leaned on heavily in the movie with flashbacks, well, not flashbacks, but like videos that she'd filmed so her father could watch those videos on his mission. And honestly, it brought you down. It brought the tone of the movie down with this sick, dead kid. Like, not to sound horrible, but I mean, we wanted to see some dinosaur action, and so much of the movie leaned into that. And I get that they were trying to give it emotional depth, but yeah, it just bummed me out, and it tonally felt imbalanced because one minute we had the dinosaurs and the next minute something about Adam Driver's kid, and it kept doing that back and forth. And with a lot of these creature feature type movies that have those storylines, they blend it together well. Like with, okay, this is probably a bad example, but the Meg, the first one, it had a storyline that could get a little too serious at times, but still they blended it a lot better with the emotional stuff and stuff about a huge giant shark attacking everybody. But with this, it just felt like it clashed way more. And with the whole Jurassic Park stuff, okay, so with Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, there's this scene where they're hiding behind a waterfall and a T-Rex attacks them, and in this movie, they have that scene, they're hiding behind a waterfall and this giant dinosaur attacks them, and it just felt so blatantly like a rip-off of that movie. Then we have the stoic man who needs to protect a child that isn't his, and that's obviously a rip-off of the first movie. And yeah, honestly, it just felt like it was trying too hard to cater to a Jurassic audience without having any of the magic, the charm that the Jurassic, Park movies brought to the table. One thing that also bothered me was there didn't really seem to be a lot of tension in the movie. There was some moments that had a lot of potential, but then they cut away too quickly. Like with the first Jurassic Park movie, like I said, I know I can't keep comparing, but I can't help it. Like when the T-Rex first attacks and you see that glass of water sitting on the dashboard and it suddenly starts to bounce and you hear the footsteps, like that is probably the best example of tension out of any movie I've ever seen. Like that was incredible. And I just feel like they showed the dinosaurs attacking straight away. We didn't really have any build-up moments. But look, their cinematography was beautiful. I will give them that. The cinematography itself was really good. So yeah, I have something good to say about this. And like I said, the actors were very talented. But I just felt like, yeah, the script just didn't work. The directing on this, yeah, definitely needed some improvement. And I feel like with Spielberg, when he directed Jurassic Park, he used animatronics because he wanted to use those practical effects over special effects as much as he could, because it made it so much better than CGI. Because you look at those animatronic scenes and they were filmed over 20 years ago now, and they stand the test of time. They look better than the CGI in this movie looks. And look, the CGI isn't terrible compared to other CGI movies that are out today, but just talking about dinosaurs, like, if you have the budget to make animatronics, then you might as well do it. So, in the third act, it really frustrated me because this, okay, so the meteor shower of it had made the spaceship collapse onto the planet to begin with, was part of this asteroid which was about to hit the planet and completely wipe it out. So obviously it was going into the storyline of, dinosaurs getting wiped out. So we have Adam Driver's character and this little girl, and they're having this moment where a huge planet-destroying asteroid is going to hit any minute, and the little girl decides to start crying and sort of be like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't know if I said, but the little girl couldn't understand Adam Driver's character because they both speak a different language, and I don't know why they did that, because honestly, having the only two people in the movie not be able to communicate with each other, I don't know why they did that. It just felt strange. It felt like it added to that awkwardness, and it made things very stilted at times. I don't know if they were trying to be charming, like having the two people sort of having to like play charades with each other to get them to understand, but it just felt out of place. And anyway, so suddenly she miraculously seems to understand what Adam Driver's character's trying to communicate. Out of the blue, she understands. But yeah, they have this heart-to-heart, and I know it's trying to lean into the emotional aspect, but it's like there's an asteroid about to hit any minute. I'm like, he should have just got the kid, grabbed her and ran. But yeah, it just felt really, really strange. It felt like the writing needed a lot of improvement. It just feels like this isn't how humans behave, well, unless they're suicidal. I mean, have the conversation on the spaceship as you're flying to safety. Anyway, look, this movie, it just frustrated me, and it's probably not as bad as I'm making it out to be. I do understand that if you don't really have an emotional connection to Jurassic Park, if you just want to see a fun movie about dinosaurs, you'll probably be entertained. But as someone who's a diehard fan, I found it a little hard to separate, but at least I'm self-aware, right? So anyway, look, I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. I would say if you're going to see it, it's definitely a movie that it's going to be better on the big screen. So let me know what you thought down below. Please comment, like, subscribe. You know the drill by now. Thanks, guys.